Will somebody tell me if we're supposed to start the program?
Freeman hits the ball to right field.
Into right field. She is gone.
Oh, what a pass. Doncic, perfection there on the assist. A little magic from Doncic.
Stafford takes the shoulder, takes a shot downfield. It is caught by Nakua. He picked him on his shoulder and made the catch.
One-of-a-kind player. One-of-a-kind season. Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Diving in for the count. LeBron James at the buzzer.
This game's in the Admiral refrigerator. The door is closed, the lights out. Butter's getting hard, the eggs are cooling, and the jello is jiggling.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the LA Sports Roundup podcast. I'm your host, Mike Andrade. We are sitting here recording live Wednesday, January 14th, 2026. We are 2 weeks into the new year, and I hope everyone's doing pretty dang well. I am doing well myself. It's a bright and beautiful sunny day here in Southern California, in which I hope you guys are, wherever you're listening all throughout the world, I hope you're enjoying just as much beautiful weather, or in fact, even more beautiful weather, wherever you may be. Granted, it is the winter season, but hey, although it's the winter season, hopefully the sun is shining and it's not rainy or cloudy or thundering or storming or anything like that wherever you may be, and you're just sitting here relaxing and listening to the episode as comfortably as you can. And we have a lot to talk about today. Lots going on in the world of LA sports. Particularly, it is NFL playoffs where both the Rams and the Chargers had wildcard games that went much differently for both teams. We'll also talk about the Lakers not caring whatsoever about playing any defense, and can the Clippers make a comeback into the Western Conference standings and possibly be in the NBA play-in tournament. But before we get into those topics, we just recorded our Wrestling with Ryan and Mike podcast where we talked about our top 10 WWE World title wins on free television. Ryan and I had our own list of matches that fit that category, and so if you're interested in pro wrestling, go ahead and give that episode a listen. It's Wrestling with Ryan and Mike. It's on our same Spotify channels. It's on our same YouTube channels. Guys, if you're into pro wrestling, this is the podcast for you, Wrestling with Ryan and Mike. We also talk about the latest AEW news, Raw and SmackDown news, and so go ahead, check it out, guys, if pro wrestling is your jam. Also, go ahead and follow us on all of our social medias. We are at Lace 'em Up Sports. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on Twitter. Guys, we're on all the socials. So go ahead. Not Twitter. We're on X. But go ahead and follow us on all the social medias, guys. We need to boost those numbers up for 2026. And so your help is much appreciated. On the YouTube channel, go ahead, subscribe, like the channel, smash that like button, however you want to phrase it, however the YouTubers like to say it nowadays. Smash that like button on all of our social media channels at Lace 'em Up Sports. That's where you can find us, and you can find exclusive content on those channels. So this past Saturday was the start of NFL Wildcard Weekend, and the Rams saw themselves in Carolina to play the Panthers for their wildcard game, and what a game it was, where the Rams took an early start, 14-0, and it looked like it was going to be a rout, and it sure was not a rout, because by the end of the game, you saw yourself, if you were a Rams fan, piss and shit must have been rolling down your leg, as we all thought the Rams were going to choke it away. But you got to give it to Carolina, them being an 8-9 team, a team that's under 500, making it into the postseason, and they gave the Rams every run for their money that there was possible, and they had the home crowd advantage in this game. They had the home field, they had the crowd behind them, and the Panthers really brought it to the Rams, not giving up when they were down 14-0, and I really give credit to young quarterback Bryce Young, who threw 21-40 passing for 264 yards, one passing touchdown, threw one interception, and he also rushed for 24 yards and also one rushing touchdown as well. I mean, Young's mobility, it really delivered for Carolina, delivering them a spark, especially that 16-yard rushing touchdown was one of the pivotal scores that kept the Panthers in it. But you also have to give it to Chuba Hubbard, who rushed for 46 yards, including 13 receiving yards, rushing for 2 touchdowns as well. And then also on the Panthers, Jalen Coker, 9 receptions, 134 yards, 1 touchdown. And their receiving core, also McMillan, not even going to attempt to say his first name because I might butcher it, but also 5 catches, 81 yards. He's a rookie, and so a young core for the Carolina Panthers. And I know my co-host for Wrestling with Ryan, he's going to be excited by me saying this, but I got to give it to the Panthers. They have a young, exciting core, and their future is very, very bright. But for the Rams, you have MVP candidate Matthew Stafford going 24 of 42 attempts passing, 340 total passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns through 1 vital interception, but came through in the clutch, going 6 of 7 for 71 yards and a game-winning drive for a touchdown. And look, the Rams were up big in this game, and it looked like I said before, it looked like the Rams were going to completely dominate throughout this game. But again, the Panthers, every time the Rams scored, the Panthers answered back, and they kept answering back, and it was almost seemingly lost for the Rams as Carolina had a crucial block punt late in the fourth quarter. Then a 7-yard touchdown to Jalen Coker gave Carolina a lead with just minutes left in regulation. But I have to shout out Puka Nacua from the Rams. What a game Puka Nacua had. 10 receptions, 111 receiving yards, and 1 receiving touchdown, and also had a rushing touchdown, making him the only Ram with both a receiving and rushing score in this playoff game. And Devontae Adams too. He didn't have the best of games coming off his hamstring injury, but his presence out there just alone made the Rams able to capitalize on Puka Nacua in ways that they weren't able to the last few weeks, and it was definitely noticeable. And then also late in that fourth quarter with minutes remaining, but got to shout out Colby Parkinson, tight end for the Rams. On that late game-winning drive, Matthew Stafford was able to seal the deal, finding Colby Parkinson in the corner of the end zone, and probably the greatest catch of his entire career, of his short 5-year career. It was incredible. The Rams sealed the deal to get the victory to defeat the Carolina Panthers in the wildcard game, and now the Rams find themselves in the NFL Divisional round, now set up to play the Chicago Bears in Chicago this Sunday. The Rams are coming in as the number 5 seed, and the Bears are coming in as the number 2 seed, and the Bears are coming in with some hot momentum in a comeback victory in their wild card game against the Green Bay Packers, where they were down big time. I believe they're down almost 20 points in that game going into the third quarter and into the fourth as well. But the Chicago Bears, man, they bullied their way into getting that victory last Saturday against the Packers in very, very impressive fashion. And their quarterback, Caleb Williams, threw for 361 yards during that game, threw for 2 touchdowns, but also threw 2 interceptions as well. But they have a very impressive offense. Their receiving core, Colston Loveland, he had quite the game himself, going for 137 yards. DJ Moore, 64 yards, also 1 touchdown as well. And their rushing core as well. DeAndre Swift had 1 touchdown. And it was quite the impressive fashion for the Bears offense. But they're a tough unit that the Rams are going to have to handle, because their defensive unit, I'm talking about the Rams, they are going to have their hands full, as the Rams have on their defensive end have not been very, very good as of late. They've been allowing 30 plus points per game, and if the Rams want to assure themselves going in, for a victory into this game and possibly going to the NFC Championship game, they have to keep the Bears offense mitigated, because they cannot allow what happened in the wild card game to continue to happen in this game coming up, especially because weather is going to be a factor. We all know January in Chicago, it's going to be freezing, it's going to be snowing, it's going to be whatever the weather out there is going to be. It's not going to be in the Rams' favor, and so on defense, the Rams are going to have to do their part in order to ensure a victory, because who knows what the temperatures are going to be like there, and we can't control what the spin on the ball. We can't control whether the receivers are going to be comfortable catching balls in that weather, and so we don't know what the weather is going to affect Matthew Stafford like. And so defense, they have to do their part in order to keep the Bears mitigated and to keep this game in control if the Rams want to see themselves again in the NFC Championship game. Some injury news for the Rams, some good news and some bad news. Coach McVay said that they're optimistic about offensive lineman Kevin Dotson. He's been out with an ankle injury, and so they're optimistic he's going to be able to play on Sunday. Coach McVay said he's making great progress. I'm really encouraged. I thought he had a great week last week, and so optimistic about what he looks like for this week. He says he's been proud of as hell of a offensive lineman Justin Dedich has battled, but the expectations and how Kevin's preparing, he's going to give it a go this week, and we're going to push that thing and see how it feels, and the optimism that there's a good chance he makes it. Also, McVay said tight end Terrence Ferguson, he's been dealing with a hamstring injury, and cornerback Josh Wallace with an ankle. They both are looking really good regarding their availability for Sunday after missing the wild card game. But unfortunately, cornerback Ahkello Witherspoon re-aggravated a shoulder injury he sustained in the middle of the regular season and will be placed on injured reserve, sidelining him for the remainder of the postseason. And that is truly, truly unfortunate for the Rams, because Ahkello Witherspoon is a difference maker on the defensive end for the Rams, and it's just really unfortunate that he'll be out for the rest of the year. McVay said, unfortunately, he ended up getting his shoulder bad, and he's going to be on IR. McVay said it was tough, a good tackle by him, but he kind of re-aggravated the same thing from earlier this year, so he'll end up being out. Yeah, tough news. Tough news for Rams fans to hear going into this game on Sunday, but again, it's football. These things are expected to happen, and next man up mentality, for the remainder of the season here, as we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of these things. There's nothing better than coming home from a long day of work, turning on the game, and having a cold beverage in hand. Just sometimes a beer doesn't cut it. And that's why I'm introducing to you today Cannabis Seltzer from shop.getgoodsfeel.com. It's a redefining refreshment with its innovative range of THC-infused beverages. Founded to offer a new era of relaxation, Good Feels crafts drinks that provide a consistent, clean, and enjoyable experience. Each product is meticulously formulated with high-quality, natural ingredients, ensuring an uplifting mood, without the drawbacks of traditional THC consumption. Good Feels believes in the power of nature and wellness, delivering beverages that harmonize taste and tranquility. These drinks are designed for those seeking a balanced lifestyle, blending seamlessly into social gatherings, relaxing evenings, or any moment that calls for a touch of calm. Their commitment to transparency and quality is evident in every sip, making them a trustworthy choice for those looking to explore the benefits of THC as a great-tasting cannabis seltzer. Don't call me Santa Claus, but today I'm offering my listeners 20% off at checkout when you go to shop.getgoodfeels.com. Use our promo code LACEEMUP at checkout, and you can enjoy exclusive savings when you try these delicious flavors as blood orange, pineapple mango, grapefruit, or even the beverage enhancers such as lemonade and much more. Heck, even get the bundle while you're at it too. These drinks are the perfect combination for watching your LA teams. Go to shop.getgoodfeels.com. You have to be 21 plus only to buy. And remember, use our promo code at checkout. That's LACEEMUP. That's Lace 'em Up. And ease your mind with cannabis seltzer beverages. That's Cannabis Seltzer from shop.getgoodfeels.com. So as you guys know, I've been on a fitness journey the last several months. And as an avid CrossFitter, I'm constantly looking for different proteins to try. And I don't know about you, but I hate protein powders that have that bland, chalky taste. And that's why I'm taking the time out through today's podcast to introduce to you Clear Whey Protein Powder, a refreshing high-protein drink that transforms your post-workout routine. Crafted with pure whey protein isolate, this innovative formula offers a light and flavorful alternative to traditional protein shakes. With zero lactose and zero sugar, it caters to those seeking a clean, transparent approach to fitness nutrition without compromising on taste or quality. My personal favorite flavor is strawberry watermelon. It has that crisp, summertime flavor, perfect for your taste buds. But you can also try Wild Blue Raspberry. Both are incredibly delicious. And with 20 grams of protein per serving, it's fulfilling my CrossFit needs. That's why Clear Whey Protein stands out with its crystal clear appearance and refreshing flavors, making it the perfect companion for your active lifestyle. Whether you're hitting the gym or need a protein boost during the day, this drink seamlessly integrates into your routine. And it's super easy to make. All you gotta do is just add water, mix it up a little bit, and boom, you got yourself a delicious protein drink, and say goodbye to all the bloating from all the other protein products out there. And best yet, I'm offering 20% off to listeners of today's podcast when you go to clearprotein.com. That's KLEAR protein.com. When you go to checkout, all you have to do is put in our discount code. That is LACEEMUP. That's LACEEMUP. That's code LACEEMUP when you go to checkout, and you'll get 20% off Clear Protein products. Elevate your daily protein intake with confidence and clarity. Choose Clear Whey Protein Powder and experience the difference today. And on the other side of things, for the LA Chargers, the LA Chargers were in Foxborough this past Sunday night in their wildcard game against the New England Patriots, and it just did not end up the way Chargers fans hoped it would, and it was basically the Chargers being the Chargers every single year in the postseason in which they make it, and it was a very, very disappointing game for Chargers Nation out there as they only scored a field goal in the entire game. 3 points. That's it. Justin Herbert went 19 of 31 for 159 yards, no touchdowns. Rushing yards, again, Justin Herbert led the way, 10 carries, 57 yards. And then Ladd McConkey, 3 receptions, 32 yards, but a very, very sad day for the Chargers offense in which they were not able to get much done. Defense was okay. They stopped New England to only having 16 points, which 16 points is not a whole lot of points in a football game. And if you were to ask me if the Chargers could hold them to 16 points, I would think that would be a good thing. Unfortunately, their offense could not carry the way whatsoever, and they got blown out. They got blown out by 16 points, which is crazy because Drake May only had 1 touchdown, and he threw 1 interception as well. But Drake May, 268 yards, MVP candidate Drake May, and then he also rushed for 66 yards as well. So he pretty much had anything he wanted out there. And that was pretty much lights out for the LA Chargers as once again they are eliminated from postseason play. All right, switching things on over to basketball, where the Lakers are 5th in the NBA Western Conference, but I don't know how they're still there considering how bad defensively they are. The Lakers defense, now this is going off of the defensive efficiency ranking by John Hollinger on ESPN. The Lakers have sunk all the way down to number 23rd in the entire NBA in terms of defensive efficiency. The Lakers are giving up 116 points per game, and per 100 possessions ranked by John Hollinger, they're giving up per 100 possessions 114.7 points per game, and it is atrocious out there. It's one thing for us to read the stats on this thing, but for us to watch the games game in and game out, the Lakers do not care whatsoever about playing any kind of defense, and it comes from the top to the bottom. Luka Doncic, we could talk about Luka's scoring ability and how great he is offensively, and he is a wizard when it comes to the offensive portion of the game. But when it comes to playing defense, this guy is atrocious. He does not care whatsoever about playing any defense. He's flat-footed out there, he's slow, and he cannot cover any of the quicker, stronger defenders, ball handlers out there, and it is very, very noticeable. Very noticeable that Luka, he tries, I guess, but it doesn't happen. And most of the time, he's just very flat-footed, and ball handlers seem to get past him really, really quickly. Then you have LeBron James. LeBron James is 41 years old. He's in his 100th season. I'm just joking. He just got a patch. They just gave LeBron James a patch to put on his jersey, signifying his 23rd NBA season. And it's an incredible feature for LeBron. Incredible feat. LeBron James in his 23rd NBA season is getting his rhythm back behind him a little bit. In 33 minutes per game, he's averaging 22.4 points per game. His field goal percentage is 51.3. 3-point percentage is severely down, 31.1. Free throw attempts, he's shooting 73% at the charity stripe this season. 5.7 rebounds, 6.9 assists, 1.1 steals, and he's averaging 2.6 turnovers per game. His plus minus is minus 0.6. So, obviously, we're not seeing prime LeBron James at this point in his career, but at the defensive level, it's just non-existent at this point. It really is non-existent for LeBron James playing any defense whatsoever. And you can say to yourself, oh, maybe he's just saving himself like he did in years past. And that was true. He did save himself in years past because he was able to turn it up at certain points. There's points, all throughout the last 5-6 years where, yeah, he would take some plays off, but then when it came down to it, LeBron James could play elite defense. Now that's not the case. He's clearly just saving himself just so he could stay healthy on the court. And that's a problem because when you're at an advanced stage like that in your NBA career, you can't be the focal point of a team. You just can't. You can't rely on somebody to be a focal point on the defensive end and carry the burden on offense. And that's just not LeBron James anymore. He's clearly trying to save himself for just staying healthy enough to be able to play in these games. And it's costing the Lakers very, very much so on the defensive end. Now, it's not just him. I just mentioned Luka. Luka's not playing defense whatsoever either. But, you could tell that Luka is at least trying sometimes. But LeBron, he doesn't try. He hasn't been trying whatsoever this year. And that's obviously by his age. But, that's at a certain point, your second best player, and even Luka, your first best player, they can't both be bad on the defensive end. Like with Luka, you can surround him. If this team was correctly built, and which I'm going to get to in a little bit, but if they were correctly built, all the other surrounding parts would be able to play well with Luka in terms of covering for his defensive, the lack of his defensive success. But your second best player, your first best player, and your third best player cannot all be horrible on defense. That's a recipe for disaster. But again, this team is not built well defensively whatsoever. They can't cover out. When you're just watching the games, it's not even about the stats. You're just watching the games. There's too many times where guys are just left open out in the corner for wide open threes. I think the Lakers are leading the league in 3-pointers given up from the corner, and that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable for a team that has championship aspirations. And at this point in time, the Lakers, they may have championship aspirations, but it's not happening with this team. They're built so incorrectly. Now look, this team, he has so many flaws on the defensive end. You have guys that just don't cover out, and it's very, very noticeable every single game. Like, take yesterday's game against the Hawks. The Lakers were up by 30. By the end of the third quarter, they had given up that lead by, 13 points? It was just so noticeable that guys were just coming in to lay up the ball or, slam it home. And just not guys, it's not covering out on defensive spots, and it's just so frustrating to watch. Why are these guys so wide open? Why can't we cover out? That's the most frustrating part watching these games, is seeing how bad the effort is on defense, and it's very, very noticeable. Thank God we were up by 30 in that point, in that point in time of the game, because if we were up by 20, that lead would have been completely gone. I think it got down to 11 at some point in the fourth quarter. But thank God we're up by 30. But we needed we needed that win because we had just lost 3 games in a row. I still don't know how we're still top 5 in the Western Conference. That's crazy for me to think about how bad we're playing, and yet we're still top 5, and give or take a game or two, we could be back in the top 3. That's crazy to think about. But that's where we are in the Western Conference right now. There's just too much competition there where it's kind of evening out, where the Lakers are they're kind of getting a little lucky there. But their luck will certainly run out if they continue to not play any defense, and certainly the Lakers need to make some moves. They just signed a guard out of the G League by the name of Kobe Bufkin. We don't know what Bufkin can produce in terms of NBA standards. I think he was in the league before. He's just coming off a run for the NBA G League South Bay Lakers. That's the Lakers affiliate. He did very, very well, had some success down there, but that's the NBA G League. This is the NBA we're talking about. So we don't know much of a difference that Buffkin's going to make on the team, but the Lakers need to make serious moves, and they need to make serious moves coming up fast because, look we're already coming down to the nitty gritty of halfway down into the season. So it's imperative that the Lakers start to make moves, improving this roster if they want any chance to make some noise in this postseason. Now, look, you're going to talk about moving off LeBron James. You're going to talk about this trade or the other. All those things are really, really hard to do. I'm not sitting here telling you that they're easy moves to make, but the Lakers need to continue to retool this roster. Actually, not even continue. They need to start retooling this roster as soon as possible because it's not pretty right now. They're going to continue to lose games because defensively, we suck. Flat out. No doubt about it. We suck. And so the more we continue just to sit on our hands and not make any moves, the worse it's going to be. And Rob Pelinka, this is your time to shine. Last year, you brought us Luka Doncic. Okay, this year is a much harder task. Getting this team right and getting us into a position where we can be successful making a postseason run. Do I have confidence you can do it? Absolutely. But will it happen? Who knows? Because there's been point in times of Rob Pelinka's career where he sat back and done nothing as well. So I don't know. It'll be telling to see what happens in the next month or two. Not in the next month or two, within the next month, really. But it'll be very, very telling, and that's going to be the storyline going forward with the Lakers is what kind of moves the Lakers can make. Now, on the flip side of things for the LA Clippers, the Clippers are making a surge here. The Clippers have won 12 out of the last 14 games. I mean, the Clippers were an absolute train wreck. They were a train wreck to start the NBA season, and it was very, very apparent that the Clippers were on the bridge to going nowhere. I mean, look, they still have a very bad record. I think all right, let's look it up here. They're 16-23. They're 11th in the Western Conference. And for a team that's 16-23, 11th in the Western Conference, I mean, they're making some pretty good noise. I mean, look, from where they were at the complete bottom of the Western Conference to start to where they are now, could they make a run into possibly making the NBA playoffs and into playing into the play-in tournament come April? I think it's not out of the realm of possibilities now. I don't think it is out of the realm of possibilities. A month or two ago, it was. But the Clippers have won 12 out of the last 14 games since December 20th. And it's really just come down to the play of James Harden's scoring punch was on full display in a 121-105 victory over the Nets, where he exploded for 31 points. And his scoring ability is still there. This is what, his 16th, 17th, or maybe 18th season in the NBA now. He's up there in terms of NBA seasons, and so for him to still have that scoring ability, that's pretty impactful for the Clippers to have. But Leonard's been playing pretty well too. He was a centerpiece of a 117-109 victory over the Hornets. And that balanced scoring effort that highlighted his ability to take over games when needed. That's been his MO his entire career. This gives the Clippers a reliable threat going forward on both ends of the floor. Obviously, defense is still something to be desired for, but you know what? At least on the offensive end, that scoring duo, it's starting to work now. But again, this is a sample piece of what the Clippers have been able to do. Can they continue this into the remainder of the season? Can they make moves to continue to improve? That's going to be up for Lawrence Frank and the staff there to continue to monitor, and is it worth it for them to try and go more all in into the season, considering where they started? That's going to be, you can't let what the winning right now over the last month kind of fool you into it being fool's gold, right? In terms of letting the winning impact your decision making. What's best for the Clippers still is to retool this roster going forward after Kawhi Leonard, after James Harden, because they're not going to be here very much longer whatsoever. So you can't let the winning right now dictate you giving out pieces, giving out trade assets in order for you to think that they're going to be able to have something this season, because clearly they're still bottom of the Western Conference. And so you can't let that dictate you giving out important assets going forward. And that's going to be something for for Lawrence and all the other staff there of the Clippers in the front office to really monitor, and hopefully they can possibly try to make something out of this season, because it started off horribly, but then also continue to progress going forward as well. All right, you guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's podcast. I want to thank you guys for continuing to listen in for everything that we do here on Lace 'em Up Sports. This was a good podcast to have in the middle of the week, and I hope you guys enjoy your weekend coming up. Hopefully the Rams can continue to have success in the playoffs, and hopefully the Lakers can pick it up and the Clippers can figure out what they're going to do going forward. But thank you guys for tuning in today, and we'll be back with another episode next week in all things LA sports. So take care, guys, and we'll see you next time.